you could get judged by, oh, thank you for Torah anytime. Thank you for Rabbi Yosef Yafi. That's Aleph. Let's get it straight. I'll cover Purim. Let's do things right. Yosef Yafi Aleph. What he does, his dependability and his siyata d'shmaya, with service of the smile, reliability. He's not for the door. I mean, most people I know are spinning around. I know why they don't make Abdullah after Purim, because that's the matzah all year round. But everything's but hapachu. You know, it's days of Chazal, Kom Kalabach, Amoisach, it's Beyazge, B'nei Kelev, the whole world is a little funny. That's normal. These days, I don't know how to define Purim exactly. Purim has to be a little weird, a little different, no? It's always Adolayot. Who's boss around here? I got a big issue. Like, who's boss in the house? Let's find out who's in charge. I think Hashverosh made the big mistake of trying to make things normal. He's supposed to be in charge, and I am Since when is the man the boss? What kind of mishigas? Stick to the rules. No, I'm joking. Anyway, I hope there's no ladies that heard that stuff. The ladies are too busy listening today. Now we can say what we want. Chas v'shalom, it doesn't mean anything. It's Purim. Please don't take me too serious. You have to learn not to be serious. The lesson of Purim is no being serious. You know how many people that I have to tell? Tens of people, hundreds. Please don't be serious. The order, avodas hazman. Stop being serious about the Eibishter, serious about, about trying. You're serious about one thing, trying. I'm serious about trying and wanting to do the right thing. You're gonna succeed. Who's gonna succeed? Well, there's so much, unless you join a Vardik, or you join Rabbi Miller, who is very much my mode. Rabbi Miller, I once took a walk with him. Rabbi Avigdor Miller's Chusi Yoganaleino. Rabbi Miller, I once took a walk with him, and he suddenly abruptly, we were talking about something else. He abruptly said, such a beautiful world HaKadosh Baruch Hu made. So many midas to work on. Isn't that something? So many midas to work on. Now, the problem is, because he told this to me I never asked him a Pirish on that one. How do you go to work that out? But look at the attitude. If you went to Novandig, who are ready to sit down for 2 hours a day, and, okay, how's the cast? Boom, next. How's the, davening? Boom. I once saw in Novandig, Rav Shmuel Shnei Zatzal. He had a booklet. Over the years, he had 15 daily Kabbalahs. I don't know how he lived with that. I heard of a Novandig. I just read about a Novandig he used to write down every move he made, cut of a goal. He was a super happy person. He was in touch with himself. This thing I did, that. Now, what I was taught is what bothers you, what doesn't, what turned you on, what turned you off, what made you happy. Not all this stuff is for us. In fact, I'm not ready to start with that so easily, to sit there all day. But when you do that, I do a lot of this. In the writing, they said, Knei l'cha chaver. The kana should be your best friend. The pen. Write down all day. What I get out of that. There's sometimes I know I should do, I shouldn't do. I spell out, and I'm not ready to go in the right direction. Not so fast. I write it out, and things happen. It's a power. The pen is mighty, and it's murdic. I just write. You should do this, you shouldn't do that. I spell out things that are right, that are wrong. You do this, it's going to be gavaldi. You don't do it. You can't imagine, just right. That's very often my must say that. Just right. Such a machaya. Write down. The Vardig is what they did with the pen. They had diaries. They wrote day and night. I spied on one of my Rabbeim's diaries. One of them I found and I saw everything. Boy, you know what he wrote? At a certain tkuf in his life, he said, I have no eitzah because of my redivas hakavod. I'm going to act like I'm a little bit weird. Chatzi meshuga. Remember that lashon. Now, I don't recommend that. In fact, this Rebbe, I would not always listen to him. Not so fast. And his own sons, who were the biggest Avdim in the world, even told me, once he told me about being machnia and being humble, watch out. Not so fast with your own kids, you know. He would ask mechila to his kids all day long, things like that. So I spoke to his own kids about it. Not so fast. We're a different generation. Don't do that stuff so fast. Well, Americans do it all the time. They hold the kids right. I'm wrong. Parent has to prove himself that he's a good parent, you know. You ever hear a kid tell the father, Ta, I really think you should take a parenting course. You really don't know how to handle me. I'm way ahead of you. I was just on the phone a minute ago. I call up. The kid answers. The kid is so adorable. I want to tell you something. I had to reach somebody that I'm working with. And I couldn't reach the person. And the kids, this person puts the kids on the phone. The kid is so adorable. It's a very pure house. A lot of kedusha in that house. They're into that sugya in a nice, normal way. They don't go bananas. They just have a lot of kedusha. They have a special plus in that sugya. They're careful with kedusha things. And the kid shows the kids the purity. And this little boy gets on the phone, my mommy, my tati, whatever he says, he is so adorable. So today I called him up from school, in the Rebbe's room, recess time, whatever. I called up. And the kid got on. I needed the parent. It was an important thing. But the kid got on. And the kid was so adorable that I saw the parent wasn't home. I couldn't get what I wanted. But I just wanted to hear. So I told my friend, Rabbi, just listen to this kid. I didn't call to the parent at that point. I just wanted to hear that recording. Listen to this kid. My mommy is not on sugar. Wow. And I put it on, and bad news. The parent answered. Busted, I wanted to hit a little kid again. Kids are so Z's. They're so Z's. You want to believe in Hashem? Look at kids. The kruvim at two little babalach. The holiest thing in the world is little kidalach. That's why I hang around kids all the time. That's how I stay young. Hang around kids. That's the secret. Hang around 9-year-olds. I told you what I do. It's an old joke, but I'm going to chazam my old jokes. I come to the school the first day, kidalach, I have to give out to everybody. I give them, Happy Purim, everybody. This Purim, we're going to turn over the world. The Abish is right here. He's so good. Don't listen. The Torah is on your case. Don't listen. He's going to pull you down. You know what he's telling you? He's telling you, well, it's too short. Problem number one. So for that alone, you're going to be Zoicha more than any other year if you believe in the Fum Tzaira Agra. This year's phenomenal Purim. Chazal say, Toi Pam Achas B'Tzar Mimea B'Li Tzar. Better one time with Tzar than 100 times. This year we're having 100 Purims. And everything that goes wrong, even better. The more it mess up, not mess up. Now don't look for Averis. But if you explode at your wife because you're so nervous and you can't get to the Rebbe, today, honestly, I'm not such a big Ben Amlach guy. I'm too busy with my Bטחון. I don't put such a big dogish. There are people who do that. And I think it's great for those who are holding by Ben Amlach. Nobody went berserk over that stuff. In Slobodka, Ben Amlach wasn't Shayach. Everything's Ben Amlach. But I'm not into it. I'll tell you openly, right here on Purim. It's not no. Lav Davka. I'm not saying, first, Ben Adam la'atzmai. The Maharal speaks about M'chaverim, Ben Adam l'mokim, Ben Adam la'atzmai. You take care of yourself first. Be busy. Sometimes, when you're busy loving everybody, that's the best way to take care of yourself. When you give people, that's the way you grow. I'm all for that big time. Best way to go. But if you want to decide who's important in this world, start with Chayecha Kaidin. Yeah, but you have the Rosh Yeshiva in front of you, it's fine. But you have a Gadol Hador, it's fine. He already's the Gadol Hador. Now I go. I want to know, I'm great. I am Gavaldi because I have more struggles. Like Rabbi cried that he didn't have to work himself up from difficulty. He cried. Famous Maisa. I put that told it over. He cried that so we accept that he cried. We, Chas v'Chalila, Rabbi is Rabbi. But he was giving the whole, via Rav Hutner, there's a message for all of us. If he cried that he wasn't one of us yuckles that had a hard time learning, that means the guy who does should laugh. He should be dancing. The guy has difficulties with personality, difficulties with smiling, difficulties getting along with his Rebbetzin or his Shveh or his Shviga or his kids. Difficulties. It's not working. That's a blessing. You have to say, you learn most every day, Lafum Tzaragra, Lafum Tzaragra, how delicious it is. And don't look for trouble, but you have tzar, you have a Purim, the traffic's going to make you sugar. If you haven't been sugar till now, get into the road and they'll work you over. Get onto the road, get on the Route 9. You want to learn, you want to work on Savlanis? Get on Route 9, try to move a little bit. You get Savlanis. You have to go to the Musa Seder. Sit in the car and watch those big yellow buses block up all the traffic and don't you dare move. The red blinkers on. The little bubble. I know you're cute, but right now, I'm not interested in cute kids. I love you. Yes, you're sweet. We know that. And there's a mother waving to him. Yeah. Maybe I'm so happy for you, waving for your bubble. I want to get to work. I want to go. So you're going to learn Savlanis. Thanks for the Route 9 as a Rebbe in Savlanis to Gans Lakewood. Route 9, especially when there's only one lane. When it should be 5 lanes and there's one. Now, now you don't have to learn Musa in Lakewood. Go ahead, get on Route 9. You got all the Musa you want. There's another place, by the way, I don't want to speak Lashon Hara on the street, but it doesn't say. You ever have Ridge Avenue? I don't know who made that up. Ridge Avenue is in 10 different places. Go figure it out. Which part of Ridge? I see a lot of you guys laughing over here. Ridge Avenue. Whoever made that up? Tight the bish. Where? Oh, Ridge. Yeah. They're making another circle. Now you're back to where you started. I caught a cup of Zion. Ridge. You ever see Ridge Avenue? Sugar. Ridge Avenue. All those. If Route 9 didn't work, I'm giving you Savlanis. Try Ridge Avenue. Sugar. It's everywhere. No, it's Malay Chalor, it's Kavayda. Ridge Avenue's, he's about Smacht Mach Meshiga. Anyway, the more Meshiga, the better. When you're not 100%, Abishta understands, and he has Rachmanis on you, he realizes we're not exactly so, the head's not on exactly straight. It looks like the other guy seems to be straight. Mine is, I don't know. These guys, those guys look like, see, he's a neat guy and his wife behaves herself and she speaks nice to the kids when you're around. You haven't seen her in closed doors. Oh, this nice. Oh, he's garbage to Rebbetzin. Oh, he's garbage. And screaming at her husband 24/7. She's good at it. She knows the best arguments, how to give her, and he's also a God's fine, he's garbage, to kill each other. Chas v'shalom. There's a lot of shalom bayis in Liquid. A lot of, seriously. I speak to people on our share. And Klal Yisrael has a belt of shalom bayis. Loads. It's everywhere. A lot of happy families. A lot of kids growing up in warm, loving homes. Everywhere. I meet people that have, the only problem is, if the gzeira is that it's supposed to be wacky, it ain't gonna help you, the shalom bayis with the warm, loving homes. How many people I meet? I was sure, okay, what did your parents do to you? The way you act, I see it all over. I see a lack of, he's never. What? I come from a beautiful, there are people I meet like this? Beautiful. They didn't criticize you? No. So why, you look like you need therapy for, Pil Mashiach. So, who are you going to blame it on? Who are you going to blame it on? The Abish still wants that. That's why don't jump at parents. If your parents did something, don't give you the parents. The Abish doesn't use the parents so you could look for an. It's the Abish that wants you to work on your midas. That's all there is in this world. Work on your midas, you'll be happy. I'm wrong always. I always love saying I'm wrong. People challenge me. Mendel, I didn't like the way you wrote that thing in Bטחון Weekly. That's wrong. Well, how do I respond? Or you said something, you did something. It doesn't happen too often, by the way. But usually they tell me how great I am. So when they tell me to do something wrong, I have one answer to all. I can even get my secretary. I'll have an official secretary how to answer all those inquiries about, all my criticisms. They're asking why this or that. One answer. You are right! I always say that. And I say it b'kol ram. I don't just say, I made such a mistake. I could say that too. And I could say, but the ik is, you're right. He's not interested in hearing me debate with him. He has no interest in that. He wants the truth. And I am myself. He wants to be right. As long as I'm right. The truth is all right. What's true? Might have to be. Main thing is, I once had to deal with a shalom bias like that. It took two wonderful people until it came to their fight. And I couldn't deal with it. I says, I can't deal with it. Everybody got to be right around here. In my books, the one who says they're wrong is the Yachsin. In the Novhardok, they said, not Moida ala emes, Moida ala sheker. Because David HaMelech kalayim David Chata Eina L'Taya. So David didn't sin, and what does he say about himself? I'm wrong. That's why he's king. That's a king. Shaul said that he's right. He lost the Malchus. So say you're wrong. What do you care? Have to fight around your whole life, sour up your life. Rav Kanarek Zatzal told me he remembers in Leipzig, he used to see two Germans get together on a narrow sidewalk, and one's coming this way, one this way. I was here first, Friedrich. I was here first. So Sigmund said, no, Sigmund. I was here first. Friedrich, that's not right. I was here first. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Yeah, picture two adults, bull-necked, bald-headed 40-year-olds. They're not kids. It's time to grow up. They don't grow up over there. People don't work on the midas. They stay like that, lanetzach. And you see two people fighting each other, and they're not budging for half an hour. Why can't you just step aside? Maybe I want to do that to some people. I'm in the middle. I told you my favorite when I deal with shalom bayis. The husband speaks to me for half an hour, telling me how terrible she is. You are right! And then, goodbye. She gets on for half an hour. What terrible husband she has. You are right! And then the guy that's watching the show tells me, Mendel, make up your mind. You can't do that. Two-faced. You are also right. I have one answer. You're right. What do they want to hear? Except you are right. Who wants the truth? You want the truth. You have to stick to the truth. The truth is you give in and you lie your head off. Why did Yaakov Avinu, Ishtam, Ishtitan, Emes Yaakov, Tamimus, Elokite, Emeskite, Yaakveni Zeb Pamayim. He tricked me twice. That's the first introduction to Yaakov Avinu, tricking his brother twice. What happened to Emes Yaakov? Teretz says the Emes isn't what you say it is. The Emes is what's the right thing to do. These truthful Germans, each one feels You must stick up for the truth. I was here first. So stand there for half an hour. Like, did you ever see these birds? It's a cardinal. There's a certain bird. It's a red bird, I think, that, two males get together. It's a war. They don't budge. And they want to show how tough they are. The Abishti gave them a neck that they could expand. They could blow up the neck into a big balloon, an oversized balloon, to show how tough. That's the way they show. Don't mess with me. I'm the tough guy here. Get lost. And whatever fights these birds have, I don't know. They're fighting over territories, I don't know. But they get into fights. So I once saw more than once. I saw a picture where they put one in a mirror. They put one in a mirror. And he thought there was another bird there. And he blows himself up till who knows what. And he's fuming. And the guy next to him, you blow, I'm blowing too. In fact, I happen to be you. And do you know Rabbi Isai? Do you know Rabbi Isai? When people fight, they're looking at themselves. You know, Chazal say, Kala paisel b'mumai paisel. Don't you say something bad about somebody. That's what you are. I asked Rabbeim in my school, do you have this experience? This is my experience. I asked them, when I ask kids, how many boys in this class know a kid who's a ganav? Or a kid who lies a lot? Or a kid who's always fighting? Well, anything like that. Always the kid who's known to do that. I know such a kid. How come you don't know such a kid? You know what Kala Paisel B'mumai Paisel means? Do you know what that means? It means, if you're critical, that's you. Stop the other guy. That's what you are. What are you critical for? In the body, they said, why don't you see good? What's with you? So we're all critical. Don't worry. But we at least don't reveal that you're in trouble because you yell at other people. You have that saying, you bug off. Nobody's perfect. I don't like no criticism. I'm gurus, the whole sugya. Criticism, poison. Get away from the whole soup. It's mamish dirty. It's mias. I said this yesterday. Now I was being a little cute. I was in Williamsburg. I came there. Abish to help me. I didn't want to go to Williamsburg. Borough Park. I was in Borough Park twice. They asked me to speak. Williamsburg. Borough Park's an hour and a quarter. Williamsburg. They said it's officially 2 hours. I don't have the time for that. And we're going to go for 2 hours. And I'm going, 4 hours back to be there. Let me stay in late, but there's a lot of people. Or maybe I'll come. So I went. The Abish is so good. I made it an hour and a quarter to Williamsburg. The way back, an hour and 10 minutes. Listen, the Abish. Anyway, I come to Williamsburg. Now, Williamsburg, they are the loveliest Jews in the world. I am madly in love with them. I told them what I think of them. There are a bunch of Chassidim over there crowding around me after I finished speaking. I'll tell you exactly what I told them. I says, Rabbi Isai, I really mean what I'm saying. Don't look at me funny. I really mean what I'm saying. They're all younger than me, you realize. I really mean what I'm saying. I say, you guys are so sweet. They're such edelkeit, such midas tavis, that I wonder, how is it your mother never ate you up? I told her that. I have my jokes. Erev Purim, you're allowed to do it. By me, I don't make Havdalah after Purim. I don't know about you. That, there's a reason. Because Purim is like Ansiyah Purim. Anyway, I was speaking yesterday. And in the middle of speaking, I wanted to say something from Tanakh. Do you know that the anti-Zionist movement, the Zionists were into Tanakh, you know that. So I'm not so sure. Gotta watch what you're doing when you quote Tanakh. Diktuk. They're real in Turkat Oilam. They're against Diktuk. Tanakh. Because they're into this. I says, I have a vote from Tanakh. Does anybody mind? Is it legal around here? Anyway, but I'm going to tell you what I said. No, nice. There are two Kayanim Gedolim, two families competing with Guna Gedolah, Elazar and Isamar. Those are the two main branches, Elazar and Isamar. So through the years, it became Tzadok and Avyasa. David HaMelech's time, there were two, one was from Elazar's branch and one from Isamar's branch. Now, Tzadok had a son, Achimatz. Avios had a son, Yonis. There are two stories in Tanakh. I'm following. Punkt. Achimatz, after Avshalom was killed. Now, there was a war. There was a revolution. Avshalom, David HaMelech's son, rebelled against his father. He ganged up, told the whole Klal Yisrael against his father. Wanted it. And he lost the war, and he got killed. Now, David was mocked, but they shouldn't kill Avshalom. And it was Avshalom must live. They wanted Avshalom. You know why Avshalom must live? I'll tell you the Emes Pshat. Avshalom was can't describe how he rebelled against his father, Russia Marusha. And the way he got the whole Klal Yisrael against his father, saying, my father's no good, I'll be a better king. It was a terrible story. By sticking up for Avshalom, he was saying, that boy is my sin. It's not him. I know why I'm getting that. I sinned. But what was Bathsheba, I think? That was one of he said, my son is going against me only. It's not his fault. That's the way David saw things. He never had kindness on people. Is that something? It's my sin. So I want Avshalom to live. That was his way of saying. What do you want from him? That's the same thing with Shimon ben Geda. He said, Hashem amalei kalo. If someone likes you, it's Hashem being nice. Someone's not nice. It's Hashem that wants to give you a punishment here. You shouldn't have to suffer somewhere else. It's all Hashem every inch and every minute. All the Rebbeinu Shalom. Anyway. But the war was over. And somebody had to tell David the news that he won the war, but his son was killed. So Achimatz is running towards David. And David says, I see a good man is running. He's Ish Toiv. And he's going to say good news. I know him. He's a good man and he's going to say good news. Achimatz comes to David. And he says, David says, what happened? You won the war. What about my son? He sort of delayed out of it. He refused to report bad news. And the Kushi, who was running right behind him, came and he said, your son's dead. The Kushi says bad news, not him. That Achimatz was Ben Tzadok. It says in Tanakh, Tzadok is the Kohen Gadol, not the other branch. Tzadok. Tzadok son Achimatz, that's the family for Kuna Gedola, not the other one. There's another story in Tanakh when Ben Chagis lost, he got messed up, which Shlomo took over and he lost his malchus, and someone had to tell him the news. Someone from the other branch came to tell him, you lost, baby, you're over. He told the bad news. The other branch, I want a taina. How do you become Kohen Gadol? Report good news. Such a person, like David described him, he's a good person. He says good things. That's why he's happy with his brother's greatness. How did that happen? Yeah, happy with him. He's taking my job away. What's going on here? If you're looking for good, that's all you're about. You're oozing with simcha. Zman simcha seinu is sukkis. It's Aaron's Anani HaKavod, because that's his whole mitzvah. Simcha, Reidav Shalom, Reidav Simcha. He loves to be happy. He's looking for an excuse to be happy. That's why Shifra and Pua, Shifra Shaperis is a lot. Make the baby look even better. You take a whole stack of them. They're giving me like till here. I don't know what they want from me. Am I going to give that all out? How about the guys that are listening to me? Can you come in? I got to get my weeklies. They're all over. Help me out. Anyway. So, what was I saying? So somebody that's looking to see good, get out of that habit. What happened? So much sorrows. He's going through such a hard time. Are you happy with when things are going well with somebody? If I'm not mistaken, they say I'm Baruch bad. But it's true or not, I don't know, but it's a emes avad big time. He didn't want to read the newspapers, he said, because if somebody's getting hurt, I have a chiyuv to be mishtatav in his tzar. I don't have the kaychas for all that stuff. You have kaychas to cry. You have to have feelings with people, you know. You don't just report bad news. You got to cry along with the guy's problem. You have to have feeling. You should be daven also. Say some kapitlach. So keep reading all the garbage and find out all the bad news. Maybe you'll make yourself a Tisha B'Av out of your life. Listen to all the bad news and cry, say Tehillim. I'm not into that. When they ask me, how's COVID doing? Or what do you think of Corona? COVID? I said, I have no time for that stuff. I'm too busy. There's a healthy stomach here. All this place is full of healthy stomachs. Happy people. There's tzaddikim. Everyone's eyes are working. Everyone's heart's working. The stomach's great. They're able to walk and talk. I'm overwhelmed. It's beautiful. What are you bothering me with sad stuff? It's not in proportion. You're losing touch. No, you got to be realistic. Yes, you got to be realistic. You're operating every minute as a bracha. I'll call Nishim. That's being realistic. Anyway, let's get to Bטחון. You want to hear my latest mifsim? Here we go. Boy, am I having mifsim. One after another. I'm zugging two nisim and giluyim. I have mises where I just opened my mouth and boom. I had relationships were about to split. And I stepped in on the spot. It turned around. One after another. I told 6 people in a span of a few days whose child was not talking to them for years. For years. That it's going to be a turnaround. Within 24 hours, suddenly the kid calls up. Ma, how you doing? I had this 6 times it happened and very close. Recently I had another one. I have a lot of siyata d'shmaya. Come inside. Make yourself at home. Oh, my latest mifsim. You could do it too. And let's relate to Mordechai. Mordechai wasn't as scared of people. The number one thing is don't be hak and cup. I'll tell you a Novandig story. You want to hear what Novandig's all about? They were bringing the Chofetz Chaim to hear a shmuz. To give a shmuz in Novandig. In the yeshiva. I guess it was, I don't know which yeshiva. I guess it was in Novandig, I'm not sure. They had to bring the Chofetz Chaim to give a shmuz. A Novandig bracha. His name is Chaim Radna. If I'm not mistaken, that was his name. Chaim Radna decided Chofetz Chaim's on the wagon, and there's yeshiva bacha who's cracking the whip over the horse. And it's nighttime. It was Motzei Shabbos when this took place. And the Chofetz Chaim was being brought to give a Musar shmuz. You know what he did? He says, this yeshiva bacha told the other guy, it seems the horse is going very slowly. And he says, untie that horse. Chofetz Chaim doesn't chop what's going on here. And hitch it on to me. I want to schlep the Chofetz Chaim. You ever hear such a story? And he told his friend, keep up with the whip. Chofetz Chaim won't chop. That I'm the horse. That's Novandig. Oh boy, is that a story. That's Novandig. Novandig. I want to schlep the Chofetz Chaim. I want to be his horse. Yeah, here's such a story. It's hard to believe. I saw it in print. The guy is a famous tzaddik, and Novandig tells over. That's what Novandig was all about. The Reb Gershon Liebman, I have a picture of Reb Gershon where he was in London by Schneider's yeshiva, and the story goes, Reb Aaron had slept there, in the yeshiva, wherever, and Reb Gershon found out about it. Reb Aaron slept there. He said, okay, Reb Aaron had left. So he told the guy in charge, don't change that linen. Don't change the linen. I'm sleeping there tonight on that linen. He wanted to sleep on Reb Aaron Kottel's linen. That's Novandig. Let's bring it back to Klal Yisrael. Hergish, you have feelings, but it takes work to be a Novandig. Look, Davis is going to help us. This Purim, give me a bracha. The first Novandig was Mordechai. Mordechai and Esther were both Novandigas. No question. The Shita, this is often, he's the number one. Avraham Avinu was also their man, very much. I'll tell you who that man was. Avinu, he fapaked the whole world. And Mordechai fapaked the whole. Mordechai yichel v'yishtacheh. That this time of the year, Novandigas try to work on that, to be a Mordechai. Let's be Mordechai. That's why I'm speaking, by the way. To not to be afraid of people. I'm petrified. Does everybody appreciate what I'm saying? You better say yes, because I'm going to be trouble. I made a fool of myself. My jokes weren't good. My smile was... You think it's easy to speak in public? You have a million stupid things going on in your head because you're in public. My covet is at stake. My covet is in sakana. And what are the mayim rabriyas? Ein mazel Novandik taught me. Reb Gershon said, Lech rei, go speak. I advise everybody speak as much as possible. Speak. Don't be afraid of people. The difference between Mordechai and everyone else, there was a Sanhedrin. What happened to them? They were great people. Why? Only Mordechai. Manishtana Mordechai, he was Novandik. And Novandik was controversial. You know that? So was Mordechai. He was controversial. You ready to go that way? You want to be a Mordechai? You be another Sanhedrin. Nice people, chashuva people, but they're not Mordechai. Mordechai gave away his learning for Klal Yisrael. Mordechai, Novandik is, or Mordechai, not fear of Haman. You hate me, that's fine. You know what he used to do? He dafka walked. There was a heta, Hanani Mishal Azariah, in the same tkufa, when Nebuchadnezzar, Russia, put up a tzelem. So everybody got to bow down tomorrow morning, or I throw you into the cauldron. I think he heated it 3 days, the oven. Going to throw you in there if you don't bow down. So Hanani Mishal and Azariah went to Yecheskel Navi, and they said, Yecheskel, what should we do here? Yecheskel Navi said, get lost. You don't have to be there. I have a Kabbalah from Yeshaya Navi, I think it was. It's fine. You could do that. You don't have to be caught. They say, yeah, but what's going to be? When the whole world's bowing down to that Tzelem, well, what's going to be with Kavod Shemayim? Who's going to stick up for the Eibishter? We're going. But maybe one question, can you ask the Eibishter if he's going to save us? Yecheskel said, I'll find out. That night, he gets together with the Rabbeinu Shalom, Yecheskel Navi, and he says, Rabbeinu Shalom, what's going to be? Are you going to save them? Eibishter said, no way. Eibishter said, they made me cause the Churban Beis HaMikdash, and they bow down to idols. Now they want to be nice. Now they want to be tzaddikim. Tell them it's over. I'm not saving them. Yecheskel Navi cried all night, and he came to the Hanani Mishal and Azariah, and he told them, David is not saving you. So they said, whether he saves us or whether he doesn't save us, we are not bowing down. And the next day they came in, and they dafka walked. And Mordechai was the same derech. Dafka. Where's Haman? You here? Haman? Hi. I am not bowing down. No, I'm not running away from you. I'm standing dafka in front of you to show you that I spike you. I have you papa. The first simon in Shulchan Aruch, Havi Oz Kanome. Be like a mamza. Whew. A nasty nemer is across a lion and a tiger. He's a mamza. He's an azaz ponim. He has all the bad midas in the right time. And why that's the beginning of Shulchan Aruch is another ha'orah. Why Novandik put such an emphasis on mitzvahs. Be tough. Don't be afraid of people. So to laugh at you. You have a long Shemoneh Esrei. So what? So he said, whatever it is, don't be afraid. Don't be meshugana. Don't be afraid of people. That's the first thing. Don't be afraid. That's Mordechai and Esther. Achashverosh couldn't get her to say a word. You know what it means? A woman. And this is a king. You know what Achashverosh did to his first wife? Burned her alive. Smeim Lois brings down. He burned Vashti alive. How would you like to be the successor to marry the guy that the last wife whom he loved? He got depressed when Vashti was gone. What happened to my Vashti? He was looking at all the pictures. And, where is she? Who killed her? He didn't chop. And they didn't want to say. They got so scared of him. Wait till he finds out. You know, some people say the reason why he made Haman very big afterwards, when he found out Haman was the one who gave the advice, was, you weren't going to get for that one. And he went ahead, and he said like this, I'm going to make Gilo Acher after his Gilo HaMelech Achashverosh is Haman. So Haman make him good and big till he thinks he owns the world, and then I'll kill him. So when you fall from a high place, it hurts worse. And in fact, it says in Chazal that Haman, before they killed him, he said, don't just kill me by hanging me. You know who I was? I was the biggest guy in the country. At least beheading, it's more b'chavadik, chop the head off. I don't know if that might have Kamina, but he held, if you hang a guy, that's a bazoin, that's terrible. They said, no, we're going to hang you. We're going to put you in your place. But anyway, Achashverosh was angry that he told him. And after Vashti was dead, and they had to tell him, Achashverosh, you were the one that gave orders. Are you serious? He forgot. You're dealing with such a meshugana. Burned his wife alive, and Esther is the malamaka of Vashti. How would you like to be in her shoes? I couldn't sleep at night being married to a guy like him. Make a wrong move, boom, it's over. So, and when he says, Esther, who's your father? Who's your mother? Of course, if he marries, that Kaiser Wilhelm I had to marry his cousin, the witch, because she had royal blood. His ugly witch of a wife whom he hated all his life, because he must marry the royal blood. He had another wife. He wanted to marry someone else who was a nice person, whatever she was, I don't know. But she wasn't yet a witch. And he had shame. And he had no choice. He had to marry the witch, because a king does not marry someone that you pick up in the street and you don't know where she's from, who's the yichus. A king can't do that. So Achashverosh is going crazy. He said, Esther, tell me, where are you from? Esther, tell me, where are you from? Ain't Esther Margedes. That's tough. That passes for Novandik. That's a Novandik. And then she makes a party that everyone should be against her. The Yidden should say, Esther's off the derech. She became a shegetz. Look, she invites the two biggest Rishonim. Achashverosh was a bigger anti-Semite than Haman. And we give her, because she wanted Klal Yisrael to daven. They were semach on her too much. She didn't like that. She was tough. She didn't care what people thought about her. So that's avodas hazman. So Purim, you lose a little bit of your fear of people. That's why Purim is like, Purim, a little less afraid of people. It's the best thing in the world. You have such an oil off your head. To worry what people think of you. That's why people are calmed down and Purim. They get shikha. The Vadigas do it without getting shikha. They do it because they learn Musar. We work a lot of that in the Vadigas. Don't be afraid of people. People were created to love, not to be afraid of them. They don't like you, they do like you, but it's just a cup. Wasting energy. Anyway, let's get some more Moshe. Listen to this one. 42-year-old young man's son, rambunctious little rascal, turning over the school, turning over the house, never wants to go to sleep at night. He's a nasty little, ADHD, I don't know. He had all kinds of issues. A real serious problem. The father calls me up. What should I do, Mendel? I says, keep away from the kid. Go and every day have bטחון with Ayin Tova together. He's a good kid. Say to your wife for 10 minutes a day, he's great. He's getting better. We know it. Make believe. After 2 months, I got a phone call. My boy made a turnaround, major. And my wife mentioned that I look younger. That's what happens when you work on bטחון. Your body likes it. When you fill up your brain with positive thoughts, your body agrees, and you get younger. You want to stay young? You know how people get tired? Depressive thoughts makes you tired. You know that? Big businessmen don't need to sleep. They're so excited over the millions that they're making. Who has time to sleep? Who has time to eat? People who are bored eat and sleep. No, it's okay. Eat and sleep. No. I eat and sleep plenty, don't worry. But ideally, the Novandik used to try to do that, to be like the big businessmen who have a million things on their heads. Those are the real happy people, by the way. They say those guys who are building yeshivas out in Yehuppets, who are building Torah, are the happiest people in the world. It's a fact. It's known. I speak to a lot of them. They ring all kinds. Chavetz Chaim guys, Liquid guys, the Lubavitches. All these guys are super happy. I advise everybody to do it if you could. Go out. Too. Baron Shita was go out. That's our Baron Shita. You want to know Lakewood Shita? That's it. I don't know what everyone's doing. I'm not mixing in. But ideally, that's the way to go. And it makes people so happy. You know what happens to a guy when he goes out? Yesterday, where's the schnapps? What's going on? Scandal. How could I sit here without drinking? Erev Purim, I should be half shaken by now. This is terrible. How could I? This is nicht richtig, no? Nicht richtig. I could see a bottle and leave it and without. Come on, you have to be a serious drinker. You ever see Yapchik? Serious food. You got to be serious somewhere. I'm serious food. Yeah. I'm a serious drinker. You want to have a drink, anybody? It's all down to the bottom. I'm very proud of my Elam. My Elam is drinking well, but I almost have nothing left. And you know what Weinkrantz told me before Purim? For getting shikah, you won't be simcha. Learning chayvus avavas 3 hours, you'll get simcha. That's what he told me. Learn chayvus avavas. Learn how good the Avish is. Talk about it all day. You'll get simcha. He didn't hold that to be ideal. So that's okay, but I do this. I have Hasidic blood. Did I tell you what I did? You all heard my jokes already? Can I chazah my jokes? I was in Borough Park in Williamsburg yesterday. I have saying Erev Purim. So you all heard my joke. I was a bitter. The guy's going to say, oh, Mendel is the third time I heard this one. Please stop me in the middle. If you all heard it. This is what happened. I went to Borough Park a couple of weeks ago. Come in Borough Park, I said, okay, I want the door closed, please. And I want them to promise me not to tell any, don't let this get back to Lakewood. They're Litvakis in Lakewood. I don't want to start up with them. I'm not quite so Litvak as I seem, because I do have Chassidish roots. I'm like one of you guys, even though I'm not yet in your Madrege with the Streimel, but I have it in me. And I want to tell you, my Shver, the Munkach Chassid, never fell in with me as an Adam. Even with the Streimel and me, I didn't have a bid either. And I fell in with him. Anyway, one day my wife and my Shver getting into an argument, and my wife says, Mashiach's got to be a Litvak. And my Shver says, no. Mashiach will not be a Litvak. Zan Eisel guide Zan a Litvak. His donkey, he's going to be a Litvak. So I said this over in Satma, in Borough Park. And the guys were laughing. Anyway, I came to Lakewood and I told it over to a couple of guys. They were on the floor. And then I came back. So last night I was in Williamsburg, so I told over what happened in Borough Park, what happened in Lakewood. Williamsburg is going to hear all the reports of what's going on with my jokes and my peerish on what's happening here. So I had a shot. How come in Borough Park they laughed, but in Lakewood they laughed much louder, much harder than in Borough Park? What's the shot? So I said, just like this. In Lakewood, when they heard that Mashiach's going to be a donkey and Hazel, they laughed. It's a cute joke. So they laughed, Taka. They laughed their heads off. It's a joke. But in Borough Park, they didn't laugh so hard because they held maybe Taka, you got a point. Yes, I'm joking. Anyway. And the best thing of Purim is when everything goes wrong. When everything goes wrong, from Tzaira Agra, everything goes wrong. By the way, you know what I told those Williamsburg Yidden yesterday? Listen to this one. I told them, you guys, I know a little bit. I know. First of all, I told them my difficulties with Chassidim. As much as, I hold myself to be one of them, but I was once in Yerushalayim, and I saw a Chassidish guy in the bus. And those days, I knew nothing. By the way, I pride myself, when I come to the next world, I don't know if the first question will be, did you learn? I think one of the first questions will be, did you not know the politics? And that, I'm the Goladar. I mamish don't know what's going on. I pride myself. I the emes don't know. I don't want to hear politics, what's going on with this yeshiva, with this. I know, a little I'll hear, but I mean, somehow something gets through, but I'm just not interested in hearing that garbage. It's disgusting. I want to enjoy life and be happy. I don't want to hear this, he holds this, and they killed each other, and they're fighting. Man, who needs that stuff? But you don't know. It's a mitzvah. In Yenavelt, the best person up there is the person that the biggest on Amoritz in politics. I pride myself in not knowing what's flying. I'm number one. I don't know about his Torah and that. I don't want to hear. I want to hear everybody's healthy and good. Everyone loves each other. That's all I'm interested in. Anyway, so where am I up to? Who? Who? Oh, I'm on the bus. Listen to this one. Yeah. So I see a chassidus, and I told him about a different chassidus, something that they did to show. See, I know about chassidim. You know, I'm not such a American Harry that doesn't know anything. So I wanted to show him. You can take a stack of them to give them out because I'm drowning in this stuff. You know, and I'm sure you take a lot. Yeah.
I gave out already.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks a lot. They came out nice. So anyway, so I go over to him, and I tell him about a story of what a different chassidus was doing. The guy let me have it. He killed me. And in Chab, I'm on his good list by far more than that chassid. I mean, I was saying the wrong thing. I didn't know the politics. What could I do? I didn't know. Anyway, so you know there's a Maisa with the Ger Rebbe, not Rav Ramotcha, the Beis Yisrael. You'll take a whole stack of them, yeah? Say me. Covered Purim, I'm going to be. So Beis Yisrael sees Ger Chassid came to Ger, and he was wearing a spudik without a beard. So he walked over to him and he said, I didn't beat him. Did you hear that one? I didn't beat him. You know what else he did? There were guys that used to stand up there to say l'chaim. They had steps. Say l'chaim at the tish. And some people don't chaf. It's time to move on. There's 200 guys behind you. Some guys are like, you know, these American guys, especially guys like me, these Harrys, they don't know if to do it. He come to the dish, move! There's thousands of see them here. He's standing like a klutz. And he's holding and the Rebbe says, and he says, L'chaim, Chaim, and he's still standing. Yes, L'chaim? Yeah, L'chaim. Yeah, did we get it? Yeah, L'chaim. And he's busy trying to, the guy was slow, I don't know what's that. He did like he wasn't used to it. A little fishy guy, what do they know? The Litvakas that are worse. I'm joking. Anyway, the Litvakas, what do they know? So the Rebbe says, finally the Rebbe lets him have it. He didn't mince words, you know. The Beis Yisrael was sharp. He said, "Was steist to be a peiger?" You hear this? Was steist to be a peiger? When you sit there like a klutz, like a meshugana, he tells him through his face. And then a few minutes later, he asks what he's saying. The peiger steigt noch. Is this peiger so steady like a klutz? He doesn't chop, you gotta move, right? Gary's Givaldi. I once went to watch. I love the Ger Chassidim, by the way. Ger and Novandik are like this. They're the number one closest to Novandik. And Shitas, sorry, Novandik is very close. In fact, the famous Novandik Musa Sefer, that he had a leaked of hundreds, who knows, it has Askama from Avramotcha. Only Ger they went to. Ger and Novandik. Reb Yeshin told me, Ger and Novandik, best friends. Because Kotzk, the sharp, you know, the same thing. So what happened? What was I saying? Who? Yeah. So, Ger Novandik, shame. I forgot. I lost my could. Not only I don't have a joke that I was dying to tell over, but I don't even. Yeah, what's going on? They come at Purim. It's Purim and Avachim. Come, take. He wants your stuff. Where is he? Oh, take. Can you give out a whole bunch of the stuff? Oh, you got it. Thanks a lot. You're the best. So, anyway, so he used to call him, the Eishtas used to call the Alta von Novanik the Litvische Kutzke. That's what he called him. Because he's very similar to Ger. Ger, the fiery Chassidus. Ger was Gavaldi. I once came to watch Ger Chassidim. I was going to be a first grade Rebbe in Lakewood Cheder. So I took a special trip to New York. Those days, to me, a trip to New York was like Pisa and Ramses. I wasn't looking forward to that stuff. I only went to New York when I really had to go. I was learning more, whatever. I didn't like to go to New York. But if I went, I wanted to make sure I went to a person. So I wanted to see a first grade Rebbe. So I come to this top-notch first grade Rebbe in Ger. So I come in there, and I see these big, heavy kids coming into class. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. And I jumped up. He gave me a seat in the back to watch, as to see how he teaches, to observe. And I see these big, heavy kids, one after another. They were tanks. And I got panic. I says, I didn't come here for fourth graders. I want to see first grade. I've been teaching fourth grade. I know how to teach those kids. I want to get some shemesh and first graders. I got white in the face and I ran over to the Rebbe. I says, are these the first? Is this the first grade? Yeah. This is the edge the class. Wait a minute. Something got to be wrong. Maybe you have a different system. There's 3 preliminary steps till we get, I don't know, your system. Are these the 6-year-olds? Yeah. These are the 6-year-old. These kids are 6-year-olds. I promise a true story. There was a bracha. Who gave the bracha? Ramatcha gave a bracha. That Ger Hasidim should be, they should be heavy. They should be tough. And half the notes that the mothers were giving, Chaim is working on his diet. I promise you, half the notes, barrels on his diet. They were so sweet, those Ger Hasidim. I like them very much. They're holy people. They work on their midos. They're my type. Oh, but I have a friend, a cousin, a Ger Chassid. He told me that when his car's not working, his car didn't work. So he went around 7 times, said Yeshiva B'Seiser, and moved. I promise you. He told me this. He said, he's Bטחון. I'll tell you, my movies, I don't know if it's as good as his, but my key wasn't working. I have 2 broken keys and 1 decent one. And I tested the broken one. Here's one of the broken ones. I tested this 200 times. And I realized it's bent out. It's not Lamais. I was planning to fix it last Friday, and I didn't get a chance. Sunday morning, I got to go to school. The one good one was lost. Where did I put it? Wait, I got to get to school. I says, Eibishter, help me out. I always go straight. I don't talk to anyone else. I go, Eibishter, I got to get to school. How am I going to do this? And it's late, and I can't find the other one. I says, Eibishter, let me try the broken one. I put it in, and it's a fiddle. It's working. I promise you. And since then, Lahadam, I tried this 200 times. It's stuck. It don't move. It don't work. It's not happening. And the day that the other guy disappeared, this thing worked like a fiddle. That was the middle of a story before. So it's all baloney. You don't really need gas. It's also shtusim. You need gas. Reb Yashin used to go without gas. Let's try it. Get chaverim. Then you're not a real Baal B'Tachon. You call chaverim in advance. You're going to have cars all over the road. All you guys are trying to become the parties going without gas. Let's see how long it lasts. We see the highways. We'll have stuck on all these. I'm from the Vardic Experimental Club. And we're trying to... Anyway, but... What was I talking about? Where am I up to? No? Who? You know, somebody told me yesterday that whenever they're depressed, they turn me on. That's something. I felt so good to hear that. So I better keep those jokes going. Anyway, what was the, what are we up to? And you know how much pressure it is for my covet? I heard from 3 ladies, punked, that I'm hilarious. 2 alta babas told me a different occasion. Oh, ladies, I keep away. I'll tell you why. This is true, by the way. I'm not joking. I was on the phone, and the lady tells me, some people are saying that you're Mashiach. You know why? I keep away. Because it's happening. And by the way, I mentioned, I have heard that before. Also, I've heard that before. But I heard there's another girsa. Some people say I'm Mashiach's Hazel. And I tell you, it's not so bad. Mashiach's Hazel is a badrega. No, I wouldn't make away with that. Mashiach's Hazel is big time. Like a chamar, shepichas ben yar. You know the Gemara. Don't put down chamar. Chamar is a chamar. He's good. He's good. Anyway, where are you up to? Did I speak enough for you guys? It's 9:04. That's it. I gotta get drushed. Now I'm not under pressure. I told you how difficult it is when they've called you a hilarious guy a few times, right? Oh. So then you're up to pressure to stay hilarious. Once they called you hilarious, you're in trouble for the rest of your life. You're once hilarious. Watch out, we're expecting, no. We heard that joke, I'm in trouble. So I have such pressure. So, do you know that Reb what's his name? The Mashgiach of Chevron. His name was, what was his name, Reb? Who? Meir Chodesh, a tzaddik. They say about him, when you see, I'm afraid to stop speaking. Why? Because that means I'm out of schayre. I want to get embarrassed. Stop speaking. You can't stop in the middle. It's embarrassing. You're under pressure to keep speaking. It's a covet. It's like the covet. So, Rameh Chodesh, whenever he spoke to you, he always hesitated. A lot. He used to think before he spoke. And he kept you sitting there. And you wait. And he wasn't in no hurry. In a Varig, that would be a first-class product. I'm not under pressure to keep talking my head off to show that I can talk. So I can't talk. So you guys think, I say faket. You don't talk is good. Anyway, I talked enough. You should have a happy Purim. And you should